name is Linda Carabaras, and welcome to my kitchen. On today's program, we're going to do some baking, and I'm going to show you how to make a nice, quick and easy banana bread that is superior to a box mix. And I'm going to try and convince you that it's worth the extra few minutes to put together a homemade banana bread. And also, we're going to end with a dramatic dessert called Bananas Foster. And, well, let's start baking. Okay, mise en place, everything in its place. And I'm going to go down the line and explain each one of the ingredients for our banana bread today. First and foremost, our most important ingredient, bananas. And this is the way they should look when you're ready to make either banana bread or Bananas Foster. And actually, if you wanted to, they could even get a little bit darker and softer than this. But this is the way they should look. So there's the bananas, okay, and we're going to probably use, I'm going to say about 3 bananas. We want a cup of mashed banana for this recipe, and I'm going to show you a little something that I do with one of the bananas at the end of the process when I mix it in. So put these aside. Next is my flour. You need a total of 1.5 cups of flour. Now again, I've developed this recipe the way I like it, so I'm going to give you a little trick that I do. I use 1.25 cups of all-purpose flour and 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour. And I just want to take a minute here to talk about whole wheat flour. It's really the most nutritious flour you can use. And did you know that in any of your recipes, you can replace up to half of your white flour or all-purpose flour with this whole wheat flour? And what makes this more nutritionally sound is that it contains the bran and the germ, gives you more fiber and more nutrition. But what I like about it is it adds a little bit of a nutty flavor to the bread. And I guess the rule of thumb is you want to start off replacing up to about 1/3 of the recipe with the whole wheat flour. In this case, I found that, again, I've got 1.25 cups of all-purpose flour, and I use 1/4 cup. So I've got 1-to-5 ratio here, and I just find this is what I like. And let me show you the package of the all-purpose, the all-natural traditional whole wheat flour. And what it is it's a 100% hard red wheat flour, and that's what's used in the whole wheat flour. And just to give you an idea, 1/4 cup of this flour has 3 grams of dietary fiber. So we're going to add a little bit more fiber to our banana bread today also. Next is 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar. Again, originally I think the recipe was 3/4 cup of sugar, but I found that with the sweetness from the bananas, you don't need 3/4 cup of sugar. And I don't know about you, but I just like I don't like things overly sweet. So again, I found that this is perfect for me. If you want to go ahead and add a couple more tablespoons of sugar, go ahead. And I also like using the light brown sugar because it's got a little bit of the molasses flavor in it. And again, it just deepens the flavor of the banana bread. Next ingredient is 1/3 cup of, originally the recipe was shortening, but again, I don't know whether you've heard about how bad trans fats are now in your diet, but I've tried to eliminate using any kind of hydrogenated shortening, and that's got trans fats in it, and pretty much they're just synthetic fats that are not supposed to be good for you. So what I found works great in this recipe is this is a butter spread, spreadable butter. And I think Land O'Lakes makes this one, but I'm sure there are a lot of them out there. And it's canola oil mixed with butter, and it makes a beautiful substitute for the hard shortening that you're used to using in the past, and gives it a nice flavor too because it's got a little bit of butter in it and 0 trans fats. Then we have a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, We have 2 eggs, a half cup of milk, and I'm going to add walnuts to this banana bread today. So I've got a half a cup of walnuts. And to put all this together, it took me maybe 5 minutes to measure out all my ingredients. Now I'm ready to go, and I'm going to assemble my banana bread. So, and then I'm going to talk about the package mix after. Because with the package mix, remember, you still have to measure out your water, your eggs, and your oil. So I'm going to begin making our banana bread now, the homemade. And first thing, I'm going to just spray the pan with some Pam. Let me put this aside so this is ready to go when we finish our banana bread. And I'm going to mix my flours together. Put that aside with the salt and the baking soda. So I'll stir that together now. And you know, the other thing you can do at this stage, okay, if you mix your dry ingredients together, you have 1 minute one night and you just measure out your flours, baking soda, and salt. Take this, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in a cool, dry place. This will keep for months. Just mark it banana bread starter, and then you've got your dry ingredients already mixed and ready to go. So all you've got to add is your wet ingredients, or when you wait for your bananas to ripen, it'll be all set to go. So again, it will only take minutes to make this, and you're going to love it. You wait and see. Okay, so I'm mixing this together. Just make sure it's mixed pretty good, and that's good enough. Okay, put that aside. Now I'm going to measure out a cup of bananas. All right, I just mash my bananas with a fork. And again, you don't have to get them real fine either, because it's going to be mixed in the mixer, and that's going to break it up even more. And really, I like a little bit of texture in it. So let's see what we end up with this. I've just mashed 2 bananas. Okay, now that's about a little bit more than 3/4 of a cup. So I'm going to use a 3rd banana. And I'll show you what I do here. To make the 1 cup here, probably use about a 1/3 of that. So let's finish our mashed banana. Finish mashing the banana. Okay. So that's about the cup I need to put into the mix. And then, what I like to do, I take the banana, slice it down the middle like that. Then I slice it the other way, so I'm making it into quarters. Then, carefully, just cut it like that into small pieces. And I add that into the banana bread at the end, so it gives it some nice moist pieces in the bread, and it gives it just a nice texture. Oh, you know, and the other thing I want to mention too, some people add cinnamon to banana bread. That's fine if you want to add the cinnamon at this point. I usually don't. But you can add a 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of cinnamon to the flour mixture. And that's what you'd want to do. Mix it in with your flours and your baking soda and salt. Okay, so I just thought I'd mention that. So, we're ready to go. We've got all of our ingredients. Let me bring my mixer over here. Put aside my bananas. We're going to use those for the bananas Foster after. Okay. Got my mixer. And again, I've got a stand mixer. Can you use a hand mixer? Sure, no problem. My butter spread in the bowl with the sugar. So let's start creaming. And I cream on medium speed. That's about what it should look like. And just lift it up for a moment. I'm just going to scrape the bowl to get all that up from the bottom. Here we go. Oh, another little trick I like to do is put a piece of wax paper down, so I put my equipment over here, so when I'm taking it out of the bowl with my spatula, I can just lay it right down there, and after I just pick that up and throw it in the trash, I don't have to wipe up the counter and all that with that batter mess. All right, so we're going to go maybe another minute with creaming this. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add my eggs. So we're going to add the eggs into that and whip that until it's a little bit light. So let me add my eggs right now. And the same thing here. I shut it off just once. And again, dig that up from the bottom. Scrape my spatula, put that down. And we're going to let that go about a minute, okay? So about 1 minute. Make it a little bit light. Beat those eggs in there really well. Now I'm going to cut the power down a little bit. I'm going to add my mashed banana. And see, that's going to break up that mashed banana a little bit more. That's why I wasn't so concerned with making it a real smooth mash. All right, now, turn that off again, scrape. Just make sure you get everything from the bottom pulled up. Now on low, I'm going to add my flour mixture alternately with my milk. So on low, just kind of add about half the flour mixture. As that gets incorporated, add about 1/4 cup of your milk. All right. Add the rest of the flour mixture. And again, wait till most of that gets incorporated into the batter. You can add the rest of the milk at this point. Again, I'm going to shut off my mixer. Make sure I scrape all that dry mix in there. Now on medium, incorporate it really well. And we're just about finished. And I probably let that go again. About 1 minute will be fine. And then we're going to add our nuts and the little pieces of banana, and it's going to go right into the oven. All right, that's good. Now I'm going to shut off my mixer. I'm going to take this out. Let's put this aside. Take my spatula, fold in my little pieces of banana, fold in my walnuts. Oh, and I've got another, and now I'm just going to fold that right in. And another combination I want to tell you about, I do occasionally, chocolate chips. Oh, you got it. You chocoholics out there, let me tell you, banana and chocolate chips, awesome. Try that one next time. Or even chocolate chips and walnuts. So there, I just folded it in. Here's my pan. It's all ready to go. I've already sprayed it. Scrape the sides. Here we go. That aside. Shake it a little, even it out. Right into the oven, 350 degrees, 50 to 60 minutes. While our banana bread is baking in the oven, I'm going to take a few minutes to tell you about the differences between fresh homemade banana bread versus the stuff in the box. First of all, I just want to let you know that I timed the process that from the mixing process of our homemade banana bread, and it was 6 minutes. Then it probably took another 6 in the beginning to mise en place everything. So 12 minutes it took to make nice homemade banana bread versus the box, which is maybe 5. So, you know, really, the extra 7 minutes, isn't it worth it to make a nice, fresh, homemade loaf? And I'm going to tell you, like, some of the ingredients. Let me read some of the ingredients in this. First of all, this mix does have the partially hydrogenated soybean and or cottonseed oil, and it does have trans fats in it. Does have the enriched flour. Also, what does this have? Dried banana flakes. Now that's the third or fourth ingredients. Again, dried banana flakes versus nice fresh bananas. What would you rather have, huh? Aluminum phosphate, dried corn syrup, modified cornstarch. It does have toasted wheat germ, monodiglycerides, I don't know what some of this is, sodium, sterol, lactylate, datum, artificial flavor. There you go, you've got all nice fresh banana flavor in our homemade version. Sodium caseinate and color added. We didn't do any of that to our homemade banana bread. And again, 12 minutes start to finish, and you're going to have a nice, beautiful loaf coming out of the oven. So there's, you know, there's your different. And as I told you before, I'm going to have a little taste test after our banana bread is done. But in the meantime, I promised you earlier that we're going to do a dramatic dessert called Bananas Foster. So let me mise en place for that, and I'll be right back. All right, we're ready to start making Bananas Foster. So the first thing I've done, I've taken some French vanilla ice cream, and you know where to get ice cream around here. You got it, Bliss Brothers Dairy. Made a trip this afternoon, loved their French vanilla. So what I did a couple of scoops, put a couple of scoops in these bowls, and while I'm showing you the process, I don't want this to melt, so I'm going to put these in the freezer. So if you're doing these for 4 or 6 people or whatever, you can do the ice cream ahead of time. Just keep it in the freezer, okay, until you're ready to pour the syrup over it. So, my ingredients: 3 tablespoons of butter. We're going to use 2 bananas, 3 tablespoons of light brown sugar, ½ teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We have 3 tablespoons of brandy and 3 tablespoons of Cointreau. Now, Cointreau is an orange-flavored liqueur. That's my own personal liqueur that I like in this. You can use banana-flavored liqueur. You can use rum in place of the brandy. So you can make up your own combinations. So, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to section the bananas. Now, the traditional Bananas Foster is cutting the banana in half, like this. And we'll take this off. Okay, let me peel that. And peel this one. And then you just cut the banana in half, the half in lengthwise. Okay? That's all you do. Now, can you slice them the other way so you have, you know, little circles? Sure, you can do that. And I'll show you another thing that I like to do. Okay? And you know what? While I'm showing you that, why don't I start my burner? Set that on low. And I know you've seen this in another one of my shows. Clamp that down. This runs on butane. I got this one at Benny's, but I'm sure you can get them a number of different places. I'm going to start off that flame low. And why don't we start melting our butter? Okay. Oh, by the way, how many sections are in a banana? If you guess 3, you're right. So this is what I like to do. And just peel this. Okay. And I'll cut this again. And I like to just pull apart the sections. It's just a little bit different. Makes them a little bit chunky. Here you go. You just have to be a little careful. These are really ripe. So see, you can do that. Yeah, I'm just going to cut a slit down like that. Cut this in half. I'll just make some smaller pieces and then just a little bit different shape. That's all. See again that. So 3 little sections like that. Okay. If I press on the side there, that makes it a little bit better. There you go. 3 sections of banana. So, got my butter starting to melt in the pan. With this. I want to give you a good show on this one. Let me put my sugar in there. It's going to take a couple minutes. Let's mix that around. All right, so now we've got the butter and sugar melting together. I'm going to add my cinnamon. Going to add my bananas. Again, both the traditional cuts like this and my own little version. Now, you want to continue cooking this about a minute to 1.5 minutes. You're just going to heat the bananas. Just cook the bananas a little bit more. You don't want them to cook to mush. So again, only 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. So here, we'll get that nice buttery syrup all over them. Oh, this is one of my favorite desserts. Stir it around a little bit. Can you smell that? Cooking bananas here on top of the stove. We've got our banana bread in the oven. Oh, it's going to be good. Now the next thing I want to say, our next stage, we're going to add our liqueurs. So I would add the Cointreau first and then the rum or brandy last. And the trick is you want to just heat the liqueurs enough without evaporating the liquor in them, because that's how we're going to flame this. You don't want all the liquor to evaporate before you flame it, or you won't get any flame. So I'm going to try and do this the first time. See how nice that looks now? I think we're just about ready to add our liqueurs. And I'm hoping that this is going to cooperate today. I use one of these lighters, or you can use a long match for this. Okay, I'm going to put my Cointreau in. Then I'm going to put my brandy in. Let it go a few seconds. There it goes. Whoa! Isn't that nice? Can you see that flame? And you just keep stirring it, and as the alcohol evaporates, the flame will go out. But be careful with this. Don't hold your face over this. And again, the darker the room, the more dramatic this will be. So turn off all the lights when you're ready to do this. There we go. All right, I'm going to shut the flame off. Cinnamon, bananas, butter, brown sugar, orange liqueur, brandy. Oh, this is going to be good. Let me get my ice cream from the freezer. Look at this. Okay. You know what, I think the best way to do this is, let me get a large spoon. Okay, here's our traditional pieces. Like that. Oh. There we go. Spoon sprinkling some of the syrup over the top. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go with this. The smaller pieces, again, spoon it right over the top on this one. How about a little more syrup? I like that. There we go. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, let me sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon. How will that impress your guests, huh? Or your date? Wouldn't that be a good one? Simple, 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 few minutes. Got a little bit of mint here I'm going to put on the side. Beautiful, done. Now if you'll excuse me for a moment, I have business to take care of. Let me get a spoon. Oh, our bread is done. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. And this was in exactly 1 hour. Let me put that up here. I'll give you a closer look. Let's say time it for 50 minutes to maybe 1 hour and 5 minutes. Check it at 50 minutes though. And look. Is that beautiful or what? This is how it should look when it comes out of the oven. And just a little tip here. Just feel in the middle here just a little. If that's still a little bit like batter, wet, leave it in for another 2 to 3 minutes. You want this to be dry when it comes out. So I'm going to put this on top of the stove and let it cool. And another thing with quick breads, especially banana bread, I know it's going to be tough, but it really tastes best the next day or at least several hours later. So let it cool in the pan. That's another thing. You don't have to take this out after 10 minutes. I actually leave it in the pan for an hour or two because then it will stay even moister. You know, all this steam and everything from the bottom of the pan, I think it just makes it moister. But again, at least leave it in a good half hour and then you can take it out. And then wrap it tightly, let it, with the cellophane, let it set overnight. And then the next morning, oh, you slice it, it's going to be beautiful. And now we're ready to do our taste test. And I made these 2 loaves yesterday, so I'm going to get ready for that. I'm going to invite my husband to join me, and we're going to do a taste test for you. Be right back. All right, let's try the mix.
Not much banana.
Mm-mm. To me, it tastes kind of dry and synthetic. What can I say?
All right, let's try a bite of the other.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So much moisture. Right off, even picking it up, I could tell. It's a little stickier, a little moister. Good chewy.
And you can actually see the flecks of banana in it. You can see that this has banana.
No comparison. Plus, I'd like to eat for the next month, so I'm going with the homemade.
What a guy, huh? Thank you, hon. As you can see, we plated the homemade banana bread. The box stuff, well, let's put it this way. We put that aside for right now. And I really hope that you'll try this recipe. And please email me for the recipe if you need to. And my email address, lindaskitchen@comcast.net. I'd love to hear from you. Please give this a try. I mean, 5 minutes with the box versus 12 minutes for nice homemade banana bread. I want you to be the judge. And I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to having you join me on the next episode of Linda's Kitchen. Thank you very much.